Preloran's cinema is revolutionary because of the way it gives a place to the other. Revolutionary cinema isn't about talking about workers, revolutions, or strikes. Revolutionary cinema is about revolutionizing the place one gives to the other.
The land was not ours.
Jorge was, he came out of a different tradition. In fact, he was a bit uncomfortable with the synchronous sound and cinema verite approach.
Yo soy Hermógenes Cayo.
I am Hermógenes Cayo.
Instead, he was inventing his own film style.
Here, as soon as I get up, I see to the domestic chores, go get water, that's it. We tend to the sheep, we weave, we spin.
Part of which he called ethnobiography, focusing on particular individuals.
No como los tuyos, como
Pero son muchas las que se rompen.
A characteristic of Jorge's filmography is wanting the character to be the owner of the film. That's why, halfway through his career, he started giving the films titles with the character's name.
Preloran was not a political filmmaker. He didn't make protest films like social realism. He made these deeply human films, which ultimately contain a story that the viewer will inevitably interpret in a political way.
To take you around, and I thought it was good that you filmed.
Well, when he first approached us about his collection, we knew his name, but we really didn't know his work.
I got out to LA and went that first morning to the Prelorans' home. Jorge was so excited that his materials were going to the Smithsonian and to the Human Studies Film Archives.
Karma is the curator who came here and stayed. She spent about a month here reviewing all the material and talking with Jorge, organizing everything to send it all to Washington.
This is a major figure in ethnographic film, very important filmmaker, very prolific and very accomplished. I remember thinking that some aspect of this had to have been really difficult for him. These films are like his children, and here he is handing them over and entrusting them to us. So I felt that responsibility, and I felt very honored that he trusted us to take them on, and that he was so excited about this next stage.
These are mostly fiscal lands. Nobody wants them. The state law doesn't let them. Finish that when you find another. And that we don't earn anything.
We've been here for more than 30 years now, a lifetime. It's an incredible life. And as a professor at UCLA, I mean, it's like too much. It's an absolute privilege what I've been given.
He was a humble person, and I think in maybe part that was also why he's not as well known as he should be. And I think also distribution of his films were very limited in the United States. He did not have the promotion behind his work that would have made him known as he should have been known.
He needs to be more appreciated. He needs to be more well-known. And whether it's because it's South America and these people just ignore it, I don't know why. how can you ignore someone who made 60 films and so magnificently?
You can't imagine, Mother, the quantity and the variety of fabrics you can find here. I'll definitely bring some home for you. I try to do business during the weekdays.
After making this documentary, what I am left with is maturity, humility, respect for others, and most importantly, to preserve my culture as it is and never lose the tradition, because that is who I am.
My big wish always has been that we know who all these other people are. Gardner, Hyder, John Marshall, Jean Rouch. We know who they all are. And everybody writes it. These same guys are still writing about each other all the time.
There was a big difference between what Bob Gardner was doing and Jorge. And yet they did come together at one point when Bob Gardner helped him to create the English version of Jorge'S Children.
Vientos fuertes, soledad, el altíplano, bien alto.
La relación con Gardner no fue sencilla.
The relationship with Gardner was not simple. Many filmmakers' relationships with Gardner were never easy. Because he used to defend, I'm talking about Robert Gardner, because he used to defend the films of others as if they were his own, or films that he produced, or simply advised on as if they were his own. In fact, even now, if you look at Gardner's personal page, although he has been dead for several years, some films listed in Gardner's filmography are not his. And Imaginero, for example, is included.
Can I ask you a question? Do you know the Cayos? Do you remember Hermogenes Cayo?
Bueno, gracias.
I am the granddaughter of Hermogenes Cayo, and I live in Miraflores.
Ella se llama Rufina.
Her name is Rufina Cayo, yes.
Sí. Sí, todos le conocen.
And everyone knows her.
Abrapampa está ahícito nomás, unas 6 legüitas.
Abrapampa is over there, 20 miles.
Al Pedro lo llevo para hacerlo conocer. No ha ido nunca. Así para que vea cómo viajó.
Tenía 6, 7 años. Bueno, me quedé impresionado.
I was 6 or 7 years old. Well, I was impressed watching the train arrive and then how it left too. It was the first time I saw a train.
Saben andar todos los fierros.
See the train? It goes along those tracks.
Esas muñecas es que nos traía don Jorge Plelorán. Él nos traía juguetes. Porque nosotros no teníamos
Those dolls that Mr. Jorge Preloran brought us. He got us toys, because we didn't have toys. As I told you, no one had toys. We played with natural things. A bone, grass, rain, dirt, stones. We learned about toys through Jorge Preloran. I know that after he met my dad, he brought us toys, clothes, all of that.
Claro, han conocido pueblo.
The children play differently now. Of course, they've been to town.
if we don't have a genuine interest in the other, without trying to colonize the other in that relationship, this isn't possible, and that is Jorge Preloran's achievement. Jorge respected Hermógenes Cayo as another person. He was interested in him, valued him, but respected him.
I remember there was a lot of equipment. Each one brought their own equipment. I was so shy. I remember that I was so shy that I didn't even say hello.
A mile or so away, anyone of the family.
Todos los días teníamos que traer el agua porque no hay más agua. Todos los días teníamos que traer yo, sino mi hermanito, sino mi papá, mi mamá también. Iba, no hay agua, y bueno, hay que ir a buscar agua.
Don Hermógenes Cayo vivía en Miraflores, ahí tenía su casa, su oratorio.
Don Hermógenes Cayo lived in Miraflores. He had his house, his chapel. He had his saints. He was a santero. He practiced 14 to 17 trades. And to marry the second lady, he moved from Miraflores to get married here in this church.
In the mid-1970s, he had about 15 new film projects.
Proyectos de films nuevos.
Para poder trabajar en nuestras tierras.
Another 15 films that he had already shot and was editing, and 15 more that he was filming at that moment. Plus, he was teaching classes.
He had made filmmaking a kind of way of life. You know, it was very attractive part of his personality, in fact, even though you could say he was sort of non-stop obsessive.
He was, for a long time, perhaps until the 21st century, the Argentine filmmaker who recorded the largest amount of documentary footage. His career is unique in the history of cinema in Argentina. It is also unique in the history of Latin American cinema.
Who he was and how fully he saw other people, and this very deep commitment that he felt to telling stories that had not been told, giving voice to people who no one else was giving a voice to.
In his genuine interest in recording everyday life and life decisions, this desire of his to give voice to those who do not have it was reflected.
He is very respectful of their reality, because their reality is what reflects the culture that they are living in.
The camera was something I forgot existed. The two of us were playing and having a lot of fun.
Jorge was always very well received. He was talked about after the film. He was just another character in the cattle branding. Around here, we don't use a sleeve in the corral to work the cattle. It's the foreigners that use the sleeve, because they don't want to maim any animal. And they get the work done with less people too, so as to spend less money.
He created his own freedom as a filmmaker. You know, he chose his own subjects. He could spend a lot of time meeting the subject, learning about them. He was able to, you know, develop this style of filmmaking, but nobody else was really doing that.